Hello and welcome to Newsfeed on Trust TV. I am Dorcas Yakubu Zala, bringing you trending stories that people are talking about and sharing around the globe today, and also their opinions on such issues. I'm concerned about Babalola's reputation, says Akande. Tax bills not withdrawn, Senate not intimidated, says Akpabio. Oshun or your people waiting to teach APC a lesson, Makinde boasts. Amnesty accuses Israel of genocide against Palestinians in Gaza. Now, on top of what's trending, former presidential spokesman Laolu Akande has expressed concerns over the reputation of legal icon Are Babalola in his alleged defamation case against lawyer and activist Dele Farotimi. The former presidential spokesman said, though there is a basis for Babalola to seek redress over the alleged defamation of his person, but what I think it is inelegant is that you will expect somebody like Chief Babalola, with all of his respect and regard, that he would rather pursue this matter as a civil case. He said the non-Nigerian founder of Babalola University, Ado Ekiti, Abuad, should not have instigated the police to harass Farotimi the way they have all seen in videos. Earlier this week, the police in Ekiti State arrested the lawyer and author at his Lagos office and bundled him to Ekiti State for prosecution. The police arraigned the author on Wednesday for publishing a book, Nigeria and its Criminal Justice System, where he alleged that Babalola corrupted the judiciary and procured judgments in the Supreme Court. A defendant pleaded not guilty to all the 16 counts leveled against him. In his ruling, the presiding magistrate Abayomi Adeosun remanded the suspect in prison custody and adjourned till December 10, 2024. And the first reaction on this story is from a user with the name Kaval. You can't tell him how to pursue a perceived grievance. So far, it is done within the bounds of the law. Next one says, how can you remand someone that pleaded not guilty? He should go through trial and be made to meet his bail. And the last reaction on this story is from one Johnson Leke. Funny people, you libel and defame someone who has built his name for God knows how long, and you want to dictate to him how to go about seeking remedy. In Nigeria, defamation can either be civil or criminal. It's only the victim who has the prerogative of how it affected him. Next on what's trending, the Senate has reaffirmed his commitment to advancing the tax reform bills, stressing that no aspect of the legislative process has been suspended or withdrawn. Senate President Senator Godswill Akpabio stated during plenary on Thursday that the upper chamber remains focused on its mandate to represent Nigeria's interests and will not be intimidated by external pressures. Against the backdrop of a point of order raised by the leader of the Senate, Senator Opeyemi Bamidele, Akpabio dismissed reports in the media suggesting that deliberations on the bills have been suspended or withdrawn. Dismissing any attempts to pressure the chamber, the Senate President also stated that the Senate cannot be bullied. Any reform that we are convinced serves the interests of Nigerians will proceed. These bills contain provisions that are in the best interest of the public. Now, still talking about the tax reform bills, in a recent tweet, former presidential aspirant Adamu Garba wrote to northern governors on the tax reform bills, and it reads, "Dear northern governors, go for farms and factories, not airports and dry land bridges. The stakes are much higher than absolute personal interest. Passed or not, the tax reform bill has opened a Pandora box of structural deficiencies and economic inadequacies that must be addressed with the greatest sense of urgency. The consequences of not wearing an authentic, high-performance and value-driven thinking cap is unimaginable at this stage. I hope this is not too late." Now, reacting to the tweets, a user with the name Bimbo Branett wrote, "Thank you for this. The North has tremendous potential. It just needs someone to set things right. This also goes for every region in Nigeria. We need to foster healthy competition among the regions. This is how we can build a strong and stable Nigeria that we can all be proud of." Next is from one user with the name UI Shehu. With agriculture alone, the North is capable of feeding Africa in its entirety. I wonder why our northern politicians aren't thinking the wise way. And the next one is from one Ifeanyi Ekwenze. There are so many wonderful landscapes in the North that can be used for tourist attractions. I've always loved North, and I wish they look into every means possible to generate revenue. Next on what's trending, the Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has declared that the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress APC, Abdullahi Ganduje, might have been a bit distracted when he said that his party would capture Osun and Oyo states. The governor maintained that the statement, which came on the heels of the Edo and Ondo state governorship elections, was misguided, noting that the people of Osun State, who have been blessed to see the light that Governor Ademola Adeleke represents, will show the APC pepper in the next governorship election in the state. Makinde, who stated this while commissioning some projects executed by Governor Adeleke, congratulated the people of Osun State on the choice to support Adeleke 2 years ago, saying the governor had been delivering dividends of democracy to his state. In a release signed by his special advisor on media, Suleiman Olarewajun, Governor Makinde equally lauded Governor Adeleke for not abandoning projects he inherited from predecessors, noting that the stance to ensure that the people have the value for their money was also a forte of his administration in Oyo State over the last 5 years. The governor also noted that one of the best ways to tackle the economic challenges facing Nigerians is for administrators to implement policies and projects that will impact their people, noting that the Osun State governor has been doing well in this regard. Now to the reactions. The first one is from a user with the name Office of Coast, and it says, Adeleke will lose in his second term bidding. You focus all your infrastructure development program in your hometown Ede alone. I hope Ede vote is enough to win second term. Next one says, Naso you boast for Akure. I don't know who wants to run my governor Seyi Makinde street, pushing him to contest for presidency. Sir, Egbon me, when you finish your tenure, please go and buy a beach house in Miami and enjoy. Otherwise, it will be a story of once upon a time. And the last reaction on this story is from a user with the name Young_T. Make APC leave Osun State for us. Next on what's trending, the Senate on Thursday expressed dissatisfaction with the performance of Nigeria's electricity distribution companies, DISCOs, and the transmission company of Nigeria, TCN, since the privatization of the power sector. The upper chamber described the privatization of the power sector as a failure, while threatening to initiate legislative measures to reverse the policy. This was made when the chairman of the Senate Committee on Power, Senator Eyinnaya Abaribe, submitted his reports for consideration. During the debate, he noted that the DISCOs have largely failed to deliver reliable electricity to Nigerians. This sparked concerns about the effectiveness of the 2013 privatization program, which aimed to improve power supply through private sector involvement. In his report presentation, Abaribe highlighted the financial losses incurred each time the grid collapses. According to him, restarting the power plant cost approximately $7.5 million, while 3 plants in operation, the total per grid collapse amounts to $25 million. Now, the first reaction on this story is from a user with the name Abdulakim Oluwole Olajuwon, and he's alleging that big cash out by power sector, intentionally collapsing the grid and getting paid for power restoration on $7 million. Who no go like that kind soft cash out steady? Next one is from one Igwe Rodman. There has not been light in my area since Monday. And the last reaction on this story says, privatization you said or managed by cronies, because I know if it was real privatization, we would have 24 hours electricity. If we pay more, but stable electricity, the privatization is a scam. Now let's go on a quick break. We'll be back in no time. To stay with us. Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, you're watching Newsfeed on Trust TV. Now, Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Zulum has alleged that there are people benefiting from the insurgent activities of Boko Haram and will not want it to end. The governor, who disclosed this in an interview with newsmen, lamented how some people whom he claimed were profiting from the Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast region and Chad were scuttling the fight against it. The governor, who noted that success has been recorded in the fight against the insurgency, required that Boko Haram members are now making influx back to the region after being flushed out from Chad. He called on people to unite and support the security operatives in order to address the Boko Haram menace. The governor, however, didn't specifically mention those profiting from the insecurity in the region. And the first comment on this story is from a user with the names Kings for Real. Mr. Governor, kindly name them if security operatives couldn't get them arrested, instead of keeping us in the dark on the issue of those profiting from it. God bless Nigeria. Well, amen to that. Next reaction says, Are the doors bigger than the Nigerian army? Next one reads, so the flood that happened in Borno State didn't in any way affect Boko Boys. Still talking security matters, the Joint Security Task Force in Imo State, also known as Operation Udoka, said it has discovered some shallow graves in Aku community, Okigwe local government area of the state, where members of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, and its armed affiliates, the Eastern Security Network, ESN, allegedly bury their victims. The shallow graves were discovered during a clearance operation in Aku community, which has been under siege by a suspected IPOB leader, Ifeanyi, alias Gentle, for a long period of time. Also, the Joint Security Task Force during the raid said they recovered several stolen vehicles, arms, ammunition, and explosive devices. However, during an assessment tour of the area by the commander of the 34 Artillery Brigade, Obinze Brigadier General Usman Lawal, who was accompanied by the State Commissioner of Police, Aboki Danjuma, and the Special Advisor to the Imo State Governor in Security, Joseph Obonna, said the clearance operation at Aku community is part of the determination of all security operatives in the state in collaboration with the state government to bring an end to the era of terror and insecurity in the state occasioned by the activities of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra and its armed affiliate Eastern Security Network. He further disclosed that about 20 persons have been arrested and in police detention, while also reiterating the need for members of the community to collaborate with security operatives to sustain peace and stability in the area. In the last few years, the Aku community, which borders Abia State, has been notorious for criminal activities such as kidnapping, killings, and harassment by suspected members of the IPOB. According to security operatives, the liberation of this area will bring about a new lease of life for indigents of the area, especially as the Yuletide approaches. Now, reacting to that, someone with the name Chris Clements wrote, "Stop these lies, it's not true." Next reaction reads, this bogus Biafran actualization has caused more harm to Ndibo than good. The indiscriminate killing of innocent people is very outrageous. When will Igbo land be safe? I will not be surprised that predominantly of the people buried in that grave are our innocent Igbo brothers and sisters. And the last reaction on this story reads, they discovered a shallow grave and didn't take pictures to back up their proof. Next on what's trending, Bitcoin broke $100,000 for the first time Thursday as traders cheered Donald Trump's decision to pick a crypto fund to head the U.S. securities regulator, reinforcing optimism the new president will push through measures to deregulate the sector. The cryptocurrency soared through the mark, having enjoyed a blistering rally since the November 5th election of Trump, who pledged on the campaign trail to make the United States the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency capital of the world. A digital unit has jumped more than 50% since the tycoon's victory and around 140% since the turn of the year. Now reacting to that, a netizen wrote, Elon Musk played the highest game of his life supporting Trump. The odds are in his favor. Next one says, while Nigeria government is lacking behind, imagine say them put billions to trillions of dollars in Bitcoin few months back, how much we would have made and cleared debts we owe. Next one is from one Anthony_Bookspen. Congratulations to those that made it happen. $1 million next stop. And on the foreign scene, Amnesty International has accused Israel of committing genocide against Palestinians in the Gaza war, which Israel strongly denies. The UK-based human rights group said its conclusion was based on dehumanizing and genocidal statements by Israeli officials, digital images and witness testimony, and must serve as a wake-up call to the international community. Israel's foreign ministry described the 295-page report as entirely false and based on lies, while the Israeli military said the claims were entirely baseless and failed to account for the operational realities it faces. In the past day, meanwhile, local medics say at least 50 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli strikes in Gaza. Now to the reactions. The first one says, to all the Israelis denying this, why should we trust you over the Amnesty International, a well-known and reputable human rights organization? The next comment says, Israeli professor and Holocaust scholar Amos Goldberg and former Israeli soldier and scholar Omer Bathov have also published reports admitting that Israel is committing a genocide in Gaza. Holocaust survivor, judge, and former Israeli diplomat Theodore Meron was one of the judges who commended the ICC to issue an arrest warrant for Netanyahu and Gallant. In addition, former Israeli Defense Minister Moshe Ya'alon stated that Israel was orchestrating an ethnic cleansing in Gaza. But hey, they are all anti-Semitic too, I guess. And the last reaction we're taking on the program today says, 200 plus pages and doesn't once mention Hamas casualties or civilian or combatant ratios. That's not suspicious in a paper examining if a war is a genocide. And that's a wrap on the program today. Do also follow us across all our social media platforms for more programs, news, and documentaries. Until next time, goodbye.